Hello, this lesson is going to be on function. Is it a function, yes or no? Okay, here are the different ways functions can be represented. Okay, you can see a function as a graph. Okay, and the way you decide if it's a function or not is basically you use the vertical line test. Basically you take your pencil. I'm going to use a clip here to illustrate my point. Basically the vertical line test means you take a pencil or a paper clip like this and you move your pencil from left to right on your graph, and basically you're checking, are you touching the graph one point at a time as you move from left to right. And as you can see here, I'm only touching 1 point at a time. Contrast that with the next graph over here where I am touching in 2 points at a time, so therefore this second graph over here is not a function. This is a function because only touches 1 point at a time. This is not a function because I'm touching 2 points at the same time. Okay, functions can also come as a table, and when it comes as a table you want to make sure that you use the one-to-one correspondence test. In other words, you don't want the x value to repeat. Okay, also the functions can come as a table or a list of order pairs like this. If it comes as a list of order pairs, I would encourage you to change to a table, and once you have a table, it's very easy to see, does the x value repeat? And in this case it does not, so it is a function. Now let's look at this example here where you see the -2 repeats, so therefore this is not a function. Okay, I repeat, if your function is given like this as a list of order pairs, I would encourage you to quickly draw a table and plug in the numbers. The values for x goes on the left, the values for y goes on the right, and then it's very easy to check if the x repeats right there. Okay, you also can functions can be represented as a diagram or a map, such as these, and basically you're checking the arrow check. Basically you're checking that only one arrow is coming from the left number towards the right number. So if you notice here, I only have one arrow coming from the 7, one arrow comes for the 13, so that means this is a function. Let's compare this with this problem where you see 3 arrows coming out of 3 and 2 arrows coming out of 10, and that classify this as not a function. Okay, let me give you another example too. Let's suppose I had the same problem, -7 and 13. And let's suppose I had a number 2 over here, and both 7 and 13 I point at 2. This will still be a function because there's only one arrow coming from the left to the right. It doesn't matter that I have 2 arrows going to the right. What matters is the left. Do I only have one arrow coming out from the left? Yes, I do. So that means this is a function. Alright, let's turn the paper. As we turn the paper, we'll see some examples here or some problems here where I'm asking, is it a function, yes or no? This particular problem, the paper got cut off, but basically it was asking, identify if each of these functions, if each of these representations represent a function or not. So on this case right here I have a graph, so I'm going to use my vertical line test, and as I move from left to right I see that I'm touching 2 points at the same time, so therefore is not a function. Okay, alright, problem number 2, I have a table, so I check, does the x value repeat? It does not, so yes, it is a function. Over here I have a diagram, and I see multiple arrows coming out from the left going to the right, so that means this is not a function. Over here I see the x value repeating, so it's not a function. On the next graph, let's use the vertical line test from left to right. As I see, I'm only touching 1 point at a time as I move from left to right, so it is a function. The next graph, I'm touching 2 points at a time, so that means this is not a function. The next diagram, I only have one arrow coming from the left to the right, so yes, it is a function. The next graph, if I move my pencil from left to right, only 1 point at a time is being touched. It is a function. This one I would encourage you to draw or draw a table and plot in the put in the numbers. So the numbers here would be 6, 3, 5, 2, 2, negative 3, 12, negative 12. And the question is it a function? The x value does not repeat, so yes, it is a function. The next one, let's make a table again. I have 4, 5, 3, negative 2, negative 2, 5, and 4, 7. And if you notice, the 4 repeats over here and here, so then this is not a function. Alright, so this was the lesson on is it a function, yes or no. And thank you very much for your time. Have a great day.